active. I'm telling you something. I don't know what way this is going to go. My head says Sentinels, but my heart it's a little bit soft spot for G1.
I'm the same. My heart is a little bit soft for G1 as well. They made it to the semi-finals, and they're playing against the top-seeded team in the world. And honestly, this team in Kansas City was the Astro breakout team of Kansas City with Tony Two-Turn. They make one change, get a whole bunch of chemistry in the opens, and now they look disgustingly good. And I know those two words don't go together, but when you watch G1, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Here we go, hopping on to game number 1.
Here's the main reason why their fortunes have turned around and gotten even a little bit better. Bubu dubu picks up the rockets, tries to scoop them up and get away. Unfortunately, they've landed straight to the general's feet. SnakeBite picks them up, turns 1 into 2. Double kill for him with the boombox over his shoulder. That's going to mean 3 dead momentarily for G1, and that's going to be control for Sentinels right off the rip.
If there's one thing I know with this Sentinel squad is they gotta play at their best ability. G1 will expose their weaknesses. And right now, Sentinels is exposing them. That's the second time in about 30 seconds that G1 is 3 down.
Swish getting tagged up in the back. Cannot get away from Royal2. His bulldog barks. Royal2 has also been known to do a bit of barking himself, but it was a triple cap momentarily for Sentinels. G1 trying to stabilize here, but unfortunately, A has not been fully converted. Bubu dubu will help the cause, and that will secure A from now. 3 dead for Sentinels, and that should mean G1 can start to step out now, and it look as though they're going to choose C as their point of call. Looking for A and C control. They've got it now secured. Can they hold on to it?
The one thing I'm thinking right now, Shurzy, is Sentinels have to be loving this series layout. For the last series and this series, they're starting off on their very best map, and I know, and you know, how important game number 1 is. Let's see if they can close it out, though. Right now, G1 have a 2 cap and look like a little bit of control on the map as well. It's a 3v3.
Game 1. It's where you really set your stall out. Lay the foundation to build upon. Sentinels are so good on streets. Squallaye, though, trying to convert B for his team, and has done so successfully. They control B and C. Rockets are about to pop up now out of the oven any second. You can smell them. Ready to come out, fresh out the oven. Swish desperately trying to stay alive. Back C. Rocket's going to come his way and connect from LethuL, but they've been dropped down. Bubu dubu, last man standing. Frosty will choose to drop the Stalker Rifle this time. There's that Stalker Rifle Bulldog combination. Fires 1 over, but it's like a marshmallow. Just connects a little bit. Not going to do the damage required to secure the kill. Back and forth we go. G1 hanging on in there.
I really love that collapse there by Sentinels on that tram side. The double kill, and that's going to be 3 down, though, for Sentinels. A 1v1 situation momentarily, but the back tram spawns do come out.
Royal2 turns his attention to C. Switches in there down to about half shields. Royal2 will get 1, but Bubu dubu will get the trade. Squallaye pushing out Commando. G1 pick up another couple of kills, but they've lost a couple of members in the meantime. Frosty desperately trying to keep C here. As he got the kill, can he convert onto it? Down to no shields. He'll wait just a moment or 2. Swish back tower with his teammate. Long-term duo PreDevoNatoR as they desperately try to cling on to A, and Sentinels have turned their attentions right at them.
That's what makes Frosty such an incredible player. Halfway across the map while his team is on A, and he's still able to win that piv and stay alive for so very long. But once again, G1 turned the tides, wiping Sentinels, now 3 dead for the second time in about 45 seconds. And this is what you want to see out of G1. They take the lead in the stronghold as well, and they're winning those 1v1s. Incredible job by Swish right there.
Can they continue this? Can they keep Sentinels at arm's length? Frosty will win that 1v1 against Bubu dubu, and perhaps it was not stacked in his favor. Bulldog, with the use of the thruster pack as well, will give LethuL the wibble wobbles. That will mean numbers advantage in G1's favor once more. Swish comes sliding up through the middle of the map. Secures yet another kill. 102 and climbing for G1. They're in dreamland right now.
They definitely are in dreamland, and honestly, we had a talk, Tony and I, with the coach of G1, Eli the Ninja. And one thing he said is that you look for Swish to be that opening creator. You're going to see Swish be that front line, get that opening kill, and then you'll see the rest kind of collapse. And we've seen it multiple times here, but it looks like Sentinels is starting to even out a little bit. They're finally getting C. They have B as well, so a little bit of time on the board for them.
Sentinels have stabilized. They've got B and C. They'll trade off A, but they'll take that trade all the livelong day. SnakeBite fires one rocket, will connect, but will also die. Another trade with the rocket player. B and C remain in control, and Sentinels continue to score here. 3 went down for a moment for G1. LethuL could be about to fade the black if he's not careful, and indeed he does. Squallaye and Frosty, bubu combined, as we will get those pips figured out very shortly. SnakeBite's making a move over towards pink, and Frosty also along with him for the ride. Bubu will try and defend this cafe side. Squallaye will come to meet him too. 2 members go down as SnakeBite picks up 2 in the feed, and now Bubu's all alone. This game has been back and forth. G1 continue to hold the lead, but the scoring could go against them here very shortly if they're not too careful.
They got an incredibly lucky spawn on that PD side. Sentinels wasn't able to block that, but regardless of the misfortune, playing this incredibly well. Look at this from LethuL. Stays alive for such a long time. It allows SnakeBite to get his shields back, and they get both kills and now easily able to convert A. But you gotta look at that scoreboard. G1 is still up 150 to 100. It just looks like Sentinels is turning up the Slay game just a bit.
The man leading the charge, SnakeBite, currently sitting at 15, and with that death, 10. 7 assists to boot. His long-term duo LethuL in the respawn screen. 2 of them are hand in hand, going to come back into the map roughly in and around the same time as one another. Bubu, eyes on the rockets, eyes on the prize, but unfortunately for him, not in a position where he can contest them. And SnakeBite has made that old too familiar cafe push where you got a double kill before, and he replicates that exact result here once more to blow this setup wide open.
Unfortunately, Bubu is gonna play Tom Brady and get an interception. Those rockets go right into LethuL's hands, and they're gonna continue to slay off of this. CNA being held, across the map. And this B push is up to LethuL to at least just get a trade at this point. That's what he needs.
Can he do it though? Spike grenade goes down, will not help him out enough. But SnakeBite's on hand to ensure they do get that trade. PreDevoNatoR looking to reproduce. Not a lot. He gets taken down. And with the way this game is shaking out, with Sentinels now clicking to full flight, triple capping effect, this one's really going to hurt G1. They've got to stabilize and do it fast before they leak far too many points.
And you could just tell, right? Even though Sentinels was down in this game for a little while, they still had full control of the map. Now they're able to, make that control into caps and a lead as well, as they lead by 15 in this game.
Lead now. Will it be telling? Did that triple cap do the damage? Have G1 hemorrhage too many points? They're starting to score again. It's a 2v2 on the map, but only for a moment though. Swish now turns his attention towards Cafe, but as he does that, slides straight into a frag grenade. Well placed indeed, predicts the movement. And Generator Frosty pops up and clears out his left and right. PreDevoNatoR back tower down to no shields, and SnakeBite takes that challenge once more. Puts another one in the dirt. But in trouble, being hassled, being harried. Can he get away? The answer's no.
He cannot, but it's a bad death because these rockets are coming up right about now. You see LethuL kind of setting up for them, but the opening creator on your screen, Swish 5s, is going to prevent anyone from getting those rockets, and now playing some defense on them as well. G1 are going to get another rocket in their hand. They shoot it off, and it does get a kill as well. 2 down for Sentinels.
We spoke about Swish and expecting him to get the first and opening kills in a lot of these runs. Currently struggling though. 10 and 17 with 8 assists. You expect more from Swish. High standards he has set for himself, let alone for us. A in control of Sentinels, but G1, they continue to hold B, and C. How strong will it be? PreDevoNator's gone. Back Ivy. Rockets will hit the floor. It's going to be a trade. And SnakeBite tiptoes his way into B. Almost like a Looney Tunes character getting it for free.
You ask how strong it'll be, and consistently Sentinels building up this wall of defense and being able to hold this lead very, very close though. And only a 9-second lead at the moment. Slays are essentially in Sentinels' favor by just a bit, but the objective efficiency out of G1 is keeping them in this game, and that's exactly what they need in this game number 1.
Separate by very little. G1, they will get the kill. 2 don't go down for Sentinels. Frosty will level the playing field. He's desperately trying to defend C with all of his might. He has eventually been taken down with the assist of a spiker grenade at the hands of Bubu. But G1 have got to step into this because there's not too many more points that they can throw away here. 233 to 191, but G1 on hand to control B, but it needs to be strong here.
It's one thing to shut down one player, Shurzy. It's another thing to have to shut down two. SnakeBite and Frosty having incredible games, both with 23 kills. And they're what's causing this to be such a difficult push every single time for G1. They're always in a position to get those slays. And right as you see it right there, 3 go down for G1. They're looking to close out this game right now.
3 dead. How important is that going to be? SnakeBite bides his time with the Rockets. He knows exactly where they're going to spawn. Red room, and that's exactly where they have spawned. Buying his time. Swish inside of C. SnakeBite will get 2. And that could well and truly secure the game if Swish goes down here, which he does. The reset comes through. PreDevoNator's on hand to step inside. All 4 dead, and Sentinel take game 1.
What an incredible game by the Sentinels. G1 did such a good job right there of keeping it so very close. It came down to potentially Swish's performance in that game, not slaying as we know he can, but also the ability for Sentinels to break through the defense of G1 anytime they had control. And it has to come down to those slays from Frosty and SnakeBite. Absolutely incredible games by them too. And not just this game, this entire tournament. SnakeBite and LethuL even, and Frosty, the entire team Royal 2 are taking turns slaying out the competition.
A slow game for Royal 2, it must be said, but he was afforded that by how strong and how heavy the likes of SnakeBite and indeed Frosty slayed. LethuL also had a game where he was up there in the slays. I believe he was around 18 to 20, so he also put in the numbers that the team need. But despite the fact that Swish didn't slay as heavily as we thought he would, they still hung on in there. They didn't lose by too much there, Active. So if he can get his act together here, they're in this series.
Oh yeah, I gotta put it on Swish. And let me tell you something, Shurzy. Every time I put that pressure on Swish, he comes through the next game. Every single time I say Swish, you gotta step it up. The next game, all of a sudden, he's popping off. And it may be me, or it may be the fact that he's a perfectionist. This man works hard. Swish is one of the hardest working players I know personally. He puts the time in. He wants to be the best. He wants that chip. And let me tell you something. This G1 squad has a potential of winning it.
There are a lot of players in competitive Halo, in esports in general, that are quite happy just to be given the pro tag.
Right.
I can tell you right here, right now, PreDevoNator, Swish, Squallaye, and bubu dubu, they're not here just to take part. They want to win the chips. They want to win the championships. Whether it's an open, a major, it doesn't matter. They want to win the gold. And they're a real sleeper team that if they're not taken seriously by any of these top dogs, they will get eliminated. And I tell you something, Sentinels ensured that although they got taken all the way, they got dragged into the deep water in game 1. With Live Fire Slayer on the horizon here, I wouldn't back against G1 taking this.
In my eyes, this series isn't over until I see 3-0 or 3-2 on that board. Until one team gets to 3, it's not over. Because both these teams have a way and have the intention of bringing this as far as they can and putting as much as they can into it. We're hopping in to game number 2. It's going to be Live Fire Slayer.
It's not over until the fat jersey sings. It's all over, and I'm not doing it just yet. I'm prepared and ready on a whim. The one thing we do know is G1 have the capability to take down Sentinels here, so they've got to be so very careful. Swish in a 1v1 with Frosty. Both players backing down, but Frosty will make sure he gets that kill. Desperately looking to try and find the sniper rifle. It does do. Lands one to the body. Lands one to the dome of Squall, who was positioned top sandbags, and Frosty takes care of business there. And it's a 6-kill-2 lead for Sentinels right off the rip.
That's what I'm a bit scared about. This is one of Sentinel's weaker maps, but that gets completely canceled out when Frosty has the sniper in hand. You've got to get this out of his hands, and right now, no one in a position to do so, and he's not missing 2 very scary factors in this game.
Frosty, then. What can you do? Sniper rifle, trained over top middle. Bubu dubu soars out top tower. We'll see that sniper flare, no doubt. Not looking to get peeled here. Frosty continues to hold that angle, but getting tagged up now from over at the scoreboard. That information will come through. Royal 2 and SnakeBite in the process have lost their lives. So now Frosty has to play a little bit more different, a little bit more cagey, passive if you will. Shot down onto that big door, won't connect. The second one will do, but SnakeBite's on hand to get the trade. The opening damage that Frostbite did. Damage control was good from Sentinels there after going down initially 2 members. 13 kills to 5, excuse me. Sentinels hold the lead here. Assault rifle in the back pocket for Bubu Dubu. Will secure 1 onto SnakeBite. 3 go down for Sentinels. This could be the opportunity for G1 to stake a real claim for this game.
G1's just got to react a little bit quicker to getting 2 dead. In that last push, when Frosty had the sniper, they got 2 dead, but then they were playing really lackadaisical on the top center of the map. You've got to push that advantage, and you got to take care of Frosty, or else what happens is you kill Frosty, but then his teammate SnakeBite gets a trade off a spawn.
There's a fine balance to be struck. Bubu Dubu picks up 2. Between aggression, and when you have the advantage, you need to push it and press it home. Sentinels are just like any other team. They will not be able to win fights in 1v2s and 2v3s. You have to back yourself. G1 looking to do that here, with Squall hitting 4 fresh shots. Bubu Dubu picks up 1 onto Frosty. They're closing the gap now. It's just a 2-kill game. Can Squallaye get himself out of dodge? The answer is yes for now. Back green he goes. Spike grenades in hand if he requires them. With a teammate PreDevoNatoR on sandbags, Frosty's going to get that opening pick, and that's going to spell danger and trouble. And you see the flip in reverse. When Sentinels get numbers, they collapse.
The sniper's going to be huge at the top center of the map here, but look at the collapse coming from Sentinel. Swish has nowhere to go, just sandwiched inside the cuts. And Roll2 taking advantage as well. They're just so good as he gets the overkill. Perfect. Incredible job by Roll2. That's a squad wipe.
Royal2, one of the best players in the game. There is absolutely no doubt about it. Bubu Dubu caught unawares, has the heat wave. It's not going to help him here. Pull the parachute, and it will not help either. Heat wave will fry the shields, but will not connect. Squallaye will go down to the hands of a Frosty sniper rifle. 25 kills to 16. Royal2 has carved a hole in G1's defense.
Now Royal2 has that confidence. The confidence that's going to last a lot into this game. That mental, when you get an overkill and you realize that you just took out an entire squad on your own. Of course, with the help of his teammates. But you see LethuL here, someone who, again, I've talked about him before, being the question mark at KC, even post KC, also the question mark. Seems to have ignited a little bit of passion in his Halo Infinite game. Can he convert that passion into wins is the question.
LethuL, 5 assists to his name, 2 kills, 3 deaths. Has been influential. Another man who's been even more so, SnakeBite, who tried to get a trade against Swish, but Swish has won out. Not only has he got 1, but he's picked up 2 onto LethuL. 31 to 22. Sentinels are running away with this. G1 need to put the brakes on this team.
They've got to make sure they get this next sniper. Sentinels have had 2 snipers now in a row. The first one was in the hands of Frosty. The second one, unknown, but I haven't seen G1 with any power weapons, the heat wave included. We've kind of just seen them use BRs, which definitely work. But those power weapons give you a little bit of an edge. And Sentinels using that edge to take advantage. But finally, we see a little bit of trades here. Now the score, 33 to 26. G1 starting to bring it close.
They need a little bit more of that. SnakeBite has the information as a player last known. Top 8 plat. Rotates around now with the commando in his hands. Back green. That's the point. He's going to try and hit. Big door. PreDevoNatoR will hit him with the nade. Perhaps will not get the audio cue that it did hit SnakeBite just a touch. LethuL elsewhere has gotten a kill, and that will extend the lead for a moment. LethuL picks up 2 in the feed. He's starting to heat up himself. He has gotten traded out eventually, but Royal2 will get a trade, and Frosty will do the same thing. These kills are going against G1 because Sentinels can just trade all the way to victory.
Sniper is coming up once again. That's the focus for me right now. You see Frosty has his eyes trained on it. And he's going to get another one pretty much for free as he skirts away with no shields.
Frost like the Grinch. Getting into Steel Christmas. Whisk that sniper rifle away is ultimately going to pay though. As it drops down on dirt. But Sentinels now spawning far and away. Over in A. LethuL's in trouble. And this might be a dirt spawn for Sentinels, which might mean and Frosty can get his hands on the sniper rifle once more. Royal2 and SnakeBite spawn out in green. It's now just a 3-kill game. G1 have cut away that lead to just 3.
Focus on this point of view right here. This is the player I talked about that barely misses 70% accuracy most of the time. And you can see it in his gameplay. He just doesn't miss shots. And it just provides his team so much damage, but unfortunately out of position right there. And two of his teammates go down. They get a trade on bottom center, and you see Swish 5 with that heat wave. Maybe he can make something happen here.
Ooh, and Swish almost connected to the face of Royal 2. We spoke about how we were going to need a big game from him. Currently going 9-7 with 8 assists. He's answering the call. On the other side, we spoke about Royal 2, 11, 12, and 10. Also putting up numbers. Right now, it remains a 3-kill game, and with Sentinels just going 3 dead, it's going to open the door for map control for G1.
They've also got to have confidence here to bring this back to a 3-kill game. They've got to understand in the mental that this game is in their hands. They're capable of winning this. Unfortunately, Squallaye does go down on that green side, but Swish does still have this heat wave, and unfortunately, he gets the nade from bubu dubu in that situation.
Swish in the corner thought he was safe until bubu dubu repulsed with a grenade back towards his own teammate. He might say, listen, better you than me. 2 go down though, 47-42. Sentinels just starting to eke away a lead once more, only requiring 3. G1 needing the 8. Trades are not going to be good enough here. It has to be clean wipes. And unfortunately, they've lost another one. LethuL will get that trade all the live long day, putting his body on the line for the +1 in the category for his team. And eventually, they do get the job done. Sentinels double their series lead.
2 incredibly close games, though, Shurzy. Like I said, I've said it before in other series. For G1, it's 1 or 2 mistakes. Obviously, that nade on top center completely killed any momentum they had. Swish did have the heat wave in a position where, you know, he's hoping bubu would bait, you know, the players up top, but it didn't end up working out. Instead, a nade went into Swish's face. But Shurzy, let me tell you something, brother. Okay, I don't know if we're, you know, I don't know if we can put like a friendly little. I got $1 that this goes to a game 5. Okay, that's all I got. I'm a dad. Okay, I got $1. This is going to a game 5. I'm telling you, this G1 roster looks so good right now, and I absolutely love the ability, you know, to make these games so very close. Like, you know, everyone's not even playing to their best ability either. Like you got, you know, Swish, you know, he's playing okay, but not really like the performance we've seen out of Swish before in other games. Like, this man has the ability to pop off. I want to see it in this game number 3.
Well, as opposed to your $1 wager, I can tell you something, that dollars aren't even real money. It's all euro where I'm from. All right, that's a promise. Having a look at the score sheet and what way it all shook out. Every member of G1 hitting double figures, but it has to be said, SnakeBite had a really good game. 13 kills, 11 deaths, and 7 assists. But Royal 2, who seemed to be starting off a little bit slow, but heated up that overkill, really turned the tide. And every single time G1 got a little bit close, Sentinel stepped on the gas once more and pulled away. It's about G1 trying to ice up in those final moments, because they're right there if they can just make a few adjustments.
Yeah, unfortunately, Squallaye having a little bit of a weak game. You know, I talked about him a lot, you know, not missing shots, but you can hit all the shots you want, but when you're out of position, it's really difficult to make anything happen. And a lot of times, Sentinels was able to kind of, you know, see a little kink in the armor. Where he's out of position, they can take advantage of it. It happened on the pillars, you know, just of, you know, me remembering one situation of the pillars where he was pretty much in a safe spot to stay alive, but poked out a little bit too much and got taken advantage of. I believe it was by Royal 2. But next up, we have Catalyst CTF, and a very new map to the HCS Pro Series. Well, we've seen it in the Pro Series a couple times, but a lot of these players still developing this strategy on this map. There's a lot of different routes you can take with the flag, of course. You know, that sword and the OS on the bottom center, a very difficult power-up to get. You got to make sure you utilize that grapple to get that overshield.
Now that our Sentinel's about to complete the clean sweep, or if G1 got a little bit more life left in the tank, Squallaye has got to bounce back in game 3. 10-18 in a Slayer is not good enough. We've all had those games where you try and atone for some of the mistakes you've made. It's time to do it here and now, or you will be heading down to the elimination bracket. You've come so far, but these are the true tests against the likes of the champions and Sentinels. Overshield will get fumbled off the map. It's a good play eventually to toss it off. Sentinels making sure if they can't have it, nobody can.
That's the way to do it on this overshield on bottom center. If you're in a situation where you're going to get completely dominated, you got to just throw it off the map. But yes, all of G1, if all of them can just play on all cylinders here, we potentially have a series on our hands, but you kind of seeing one player just having a weak game, another player having a weak game, and it looks like right now, all four dead for Sen. G1 pulling their first flag. This might be the start of something great.
Bubu dubu. Moving and grooving. Tap dancing his way up the ramp here. Is there anybody from Sentinels in a position to make the stop? It doesn't look like he's going to get any damage. And G1 strike first here in game 3. And that's exactly what they need for the confidence.
Bubu dubu. That sword is a big prize for him. He definitely wants to grab that. The skewer is up as well. What's crazy is that there's not a lot of skewer players in the game that you just point out and say, wow, that guy is real good with the skewer. But coming from KotH Eli the Ninja, talking to Tony, Bubu dubu, one of the best skewer players in the game, so this has got to be his map. We'll see what he can do with it if he grabs it.
SnakeBite tosses that flag out, looking to put it down at the halfway point. Maybe slay around it if need be. Frosty has been the initial pick though, and that's going to hand the advantage over to G1, and PreDevoNatoR gets Royal 2, and that could also mean the return goes their way. SnakeBite just using it as bait for the moment. He pops out, but taken down to no shields, recognizing numbers are not in his favor as he tries to slip away into the night. But Bubu dubu is in hot pursuit. The sirens are on. The sword is out, and he kebabs him in the spine.
Like I said, this sword, a prize object. Another prize object on the map is that overshield, and like I said, the grapple being utilized to make sure that overshield comes into play and you don't take a lot of damage with it. If you're able to get it, you're still going to get melted from the multiple angles on Catalyst. That's what makes this map so difficult. But a 2-0 lead for G1. This looks to be one of their stronger maps, and let me tell you something. They've built out a lot of chemistry here, and it's just great to see.
Sentinels have been unable to stabilize, and G1 are running yet another flag, and they've made up some serious territory as they're about to walk their third flag in quick succession. Barely 3 minutes into the game, and G1 have come hot out the blocks like a greyhound.
They definitely look strong on this map, and you see all players playing on all cylinders like I talked about. No one's really having a rough game. Bubu's starting off 5-0, by the way. Has not died yet, and he's got the sword to continue this spree on.
Sword gets one. Frosty's a little bit weak. That should mean 2, and does, as he solidifies that for his team. And what a contrast in games SnakeBite and Bubu dubu are having. 7 kills to 0. SnakeBite currently 1 and 5. It has to get better if this game is going to turn around. But G1 are in cruise control.
Absolutely are. They look so very comfortable on this map. It's so good to see. One of their stronger maps from what I see here. So many teams are so new to this map, and it kind of puts them on an even playing field at this point, right? SnakeBite having a 1-5 game so far. We're looking to, he's definitely going to pick that up, but this next overshield is one that Sentinels need to get if they want to stop this bleeding right now.
G1 showing Sentinels no respect in game 3. Ruthless aggression, non-stop holding forward, getting in the faces, but SnakeBite gets a double kill after he drops that commando. But Squallaye will get a couple of kills to help even the numbers here, help it balance out once again. Squallaye will drop down now. Overshield has just popped up. You can see he's a little bit hesitant, a little bit tentative, doesn't want to make the first mistake, and gets taken down to no shields. Has a teammate been able to get down there and scoop it up? No, it's going to be Royal 2 backing up the whole way, ensuring Bubu dubu cannot get melee damage. Expert play out of him, recognizing immediately what was about to happen. The PP will drain the shields of Royal 2, however. That overshield did not get the value they would have wanted.
That's what I was going to say. Yes, Sentinels got their very first overshield of the game, and it just got completely melted by, of course, the plays on bottom center and the perfect from Royal 2, but the plays on bottom center and also that plasma pistol. But look at Frosty pulling Sentinels' first flag through.
Bubu dubu went from 7-0 to 9-4. Is he just slowing down? Is he making a couple of errors now in the last couple of lives? We'll keep a close eye on that. Lots of members of G1 funneling through the same area. It's a bit of a bottleneck situation. If a grenade can land at their feet, that might spell danger. Bubu dubu with the repulsor connects onto Frosty as he fades away and finds the visor. And Bubu dubu back base repulses up in the air, but LethuL wins that one. And it's now 3-1. Sentinels are back into things.
I still love that play by Bubu dubu, though. He was literally a little bit to the right. If he had gotten that kill, it could have been a different story. Potentially would have got cleaned up anyway. And now you see the power weapons in the hands of Sentinels. That overshield, of course, going to Sentinels, so it's a much different game. And they're looking to pressure and potentially pull this next flag.
It's important. No. It's imperative now for G1. They do not slow down. They do not allow Sentinels to dictate the pace of this game. They continue the momentum. They lose one flag, it's not time to get scared. It's not time to worry about whether you're going to lose the game. Everything that you've done up until this point has worked. Do not change the recipe now. Keep with the aggression. 2 go down for Sentinels. Bubu Dubu hits the respawn screen as Squallaye re-enters the game. Numbers are stagnant once more. Swish cross map. We'll get taken down to no shields. We'll get eliminated. And Sentinels are starting to heat up at the right possible time. Another overshield goes their direction.
Let me tell you something. To touch on what you said, Sentinels is a veteran squad. Their composure, and that's the hot word here. Composure, no matter how far they're down, can recollect. And I'm telling you right now, it has to do with the general. SnakeBite, his communication, his play calling ability, along with the likes of Frosty, are going to bring them back in this game. It's up to G1 to minimize the mistakes and make sure Sentinels don't find any openings in their gameplay.
Bubu Dubu found that gear again that he had at the start of the game. 14-6 now as we continue the story here. As he tries to make this game, this series, more about him than ever. SnakeBite will go down. Bubu Dubu wins that fight once more. Down to a sliver of shield though, it must be said. As he now scampers away with the flag. It's going to be a standoff unless G1 can head them off the pass. Another fight, another 1v1, but it looks as though a 1v2 for Bubu Dubu as he eventually loses out, and Royal 2 brings that flag all the way home. But it's about whether Sentinels can get the return here, and if Sentinels get within one flag cap, G1 are in trouble. Yeah,
they just killed Swish, who had the flag right now, so if the Slays come out, they're going to be able to return this, but 3 go down for Sentinels jersey. This flag is still being pulled. It's still alive, and it's the likes of PreDevoNatoR and Bubu Dubu that are going to try and get this return on the other side.
Beautiful from PreDevoNatoR as he tosses that flag to a teammate and immediately gets aggressive, recognizing that Sentinels were coming. They were seeking blood. PreDevoNatoR steps in after that one play, picks up 2, slides in now for the return, sends it home. G1, wow. 4-1 to the good.
This is absolutely incredible. Bubu Dubu having a performance of a lifetime right now, 17-8, and they're pulling another flag. You see all of Sentinels spawning on that car side. They're gonna have to play some defense here because SnakeBite has another overshield in hand. This is gonna be a difficult cap. We've got to see how they perform this.
Overshield coming charging, but again, it's been eaten away. It's 3 back-to-back-to-back overshields for Sentinels, but what have they done with it? Very, very little. It has not offered the advantage that they would have wanted. But LethuL's moving that flag now as they try and cut this deficit in half once more. Down by 3. And the clock's going to start to play a pivotal role very shortly with 3 minutes and 20 left on the clock.
This is the problem with this map. You gotta be careful. There's always spawns on either side. It's never front to back. You never know where people are gonna spawn. It's very ambiguous. And the thing is, right there, G1, they did spawn on this car side, and they just pushed the flag, and they're able to get another pull to make this another stalemate. When they're up 4-1, stalemate is all you need. And Frosty, all he needs is that battle rifle.
Reversal and a perfect 4 shots from Frosty. Put Bubu Dubu away. 2 members of Sentinels contend with, and PreDevoNatoR was just bit off a little bit more than he could chew for the moment. SnakeBite has the sword if he opts to use it. Prioritizing staying alive for the moment, but he recognizes time is going to start to play that factor. It's against them. Bubu Dubu sees a shin, and it's enough to make sure SnakeBite can no longer walk.
That was a big kill. Sentinels have had this sword pretty much the entirety of this game. G1 have to see if they can get control of that. But again, that one sword and the past 2 overshields are not enough. They're still down by 3 caps. This next overshield is going to play a factor, though. If G1 can get this, they solidify this win, and they go 1-2 in the series.
Overshield about to pop up. Nobody looking to get touch time with it right now. Royal 2 is sending that flag home. 4-2 now the score. It's 2 minutes. You've got to cap a flag. You've got to cap 2 of them. And Bubu Dubu has just scooped up that overshield. That win condition is now even more difficult than it perhaps could have been. It looks as though Bubu Dubu has turned his attention to playing defense as he tries to head off this flag, recognizing how desperate Sentinels are to get this flag on the move. We're going to have a standoff. And the more G1 do that, the more they can eat away. Worst case scenario, even if it's damage control, they can lose a flag and still win this game.
These next slays are what matter. PreDevoNator's got the flag past halfway, and there was 2 dead for Sentinels. They get these next couple slays, it will be free. They get 2 down. They've got defense. They've just got to take care of LethuL on this side of the map, and if they can do so, which they do, they will close out this game. G1 are 1-2 in this series. They're bringing this back.
G1, right back in it then. They look to be down and out. We spoke about how we needed big games from every one of them. We got just that in that last one. What a performance from them. I mean, the odds were stacked against them. They were 1 game away from the elimination bracket. They've stepped up.
They have absolutely stepped up, and one person I've got to highlight is going to be bubu dubu. Absolute incredible job getting that last overshield, although it got melted instantly. The thing is, he's able to soak up so much damage and also take so much attention. It took the SnakeBite having to get that plasma pistol, rotating all the way around the map, putting himself in a bad position, and they were able to capitalize on that. They did. They look so good on Catalyst CTF. It is obvious they've been practicing this map, or they just have a knack with it early, because a lot of players are still learning how to play this map. It's very difficult when it comes to the spawns and just how to pull these flags.
What a start for bubu dubu. You highlighted him. He went 8-0 off the rip. And it slowed down towards the mid game, but he found that gear again and picked it up towards the end game. And that is why we've seen them have so much success. Players like bubu dubu, he's been brought in for just that. And he ensures that his team come out on top. And looking at that, the hot start that bubu dubu had, PreDevoNatoR somehow was able to not only keep up with him, but go past him. 21 kills, 14 deaths, and 6 assists. Both him and bubu dubu dragging G1 and keeping them alive in this series.
It's like history is repeating itself. G1 was actually 4-0 in the open series in CTF Catalyst. On average, they're holding their opponents to 1 cap. And guess what? PreDevoNatoR usually averaging a 1.59 KD on that map. And we saw it all play out right there. There's strengths, there's weaknesses for teams. And right now, G1 were able to utilize one of their strengths in Catalyst, but can they do the same in this map number 4?
And map number 4 is Recharge, King of the Hill. Will this be the game that G1 bow down the elimination bracket? Or will they say nay and rally on to a Game 5? We've already seen Game 5 is coming out the wazoo this weekend. We're about to find out if G1 have the metal, if they can push one further and take the defending champions to a Game 5.
Look for PreDevoNatoR here. Like we talked about before, utilizing the environment to outplay his opponents. Such a great player, such an underrated player is this PreDevoNatoR. And look at that. A kill he's not supposed to get, but you always see Sentinels in a group of 2. Like brothers, backing each other up. That's what a squad that's been together for so long shows in their chemistry.
G1 then, having the better of the opening engagement, but as I say that, Swish is the last man alive, and that shock rifle will do the damage. You will get one on the way out. But now, the worrying part here is G1 are spawning all towards A, and those nades, they hit hard, denying the space for bubu dubu to stretch his legs and walk out and try and contest this hill bottom middle. SnakeBite now, all out of grenades, has to back up, has to give up the goose for now, but the progress they have made, could that be detrimental for G1?
Potentially, they're halfway through. This bottom hill is so difficult to hold. You've kind of got to have a guy on both crosses. You see right there, Frosty is on the top cat, LethuL's holding that top glass. It makes it really difficult to enter through, so you've got to take out one of these players on either side, and that opens up the map just a tad, but Frosty's got that shock rifle, Shurzy. This is a little bit scary. I always get nervous and start shaking in my boots when I see Frosty with a shock.
Gotta watch out. The sword from bubu dubu ensures Royal 2 will be eliminated for 8 seconds. Frosty then, shock rifle in his hands, staring down bottom middle, will secure one, killing spree for him as he prioritizes killing, slaying, murdering. Bubu dubu, exterminate, exterminate, as Frosty shows no fear. Seeing the white in bubu dubu's eyes, he scrambles away, but G1 have made substantial progress here, and bubu dubu comes back for more and slices off a piece of Frosty.
That was a great play by Bubu there. He did have the sword. He wanted to make sure Frosty didn't see him as a threat anymore. And the minute he got a little bit, comfortable, Bubu came back and sliced him up. That's what you love to see out of the IGL.
Frosty throws a nade. Bubu dubu back down, back into a corner, but Frosty thought he wasn't going to be a concern anymore. He's made that mistake once or twice now already. And G1 still standing firmly in the hill, not giving up an inch.
They're about to cap on this hill. It's going to take a lot of the Sentinels players jumping in. You see a little bit of staggering out of them now. They get 2 down for G1, an opening, but Royal2 once again. You never know where he's coming from. And he makes a great play onto the tower, takes out 1. Sentinels looking to take advantage of this, but there it is. G1 get that first hill.
That's going to do their confidence the world of good. Hill 1 has been secured. But G1 go 3 dead, so what does it cost them? There's now a long haul setup for Sentinels. Shock rifle standing in the hill, feet firmly planted, waiting for someone to step into those crosshairs. And when Frosty finds one, tip taps your life away. 3 go down once more for G1. And Sentinels sacrificing hill number 1 for map control.
That's the big thing, right? That hill number 1 can go either way, but Sentinels have a massive hold on this long haul hill. It's such an easier hill to control like we talked about yesterday. And they're doing an incredible job of it. The number 1 target for G1 has got to be Frosty on this top attic. They've got to get him off there with this shock rifle. He's literally going to stop them all from coming in. And look at that. Instantly, Sentinels gets that hill and ties it up.
The second hill far easier to hold than the first. The skirmish is a battle royale. It's a royal rumble down bottom middle for that first initial opening hill. But G1, much like Sentinels did for hill number 2, sacrificed it and gave it up and decided they were going to hold bottom elevator instead. Swish is trying to hold those lines of sight. LethuL and SnakeBite have gone down. It's been successful so far. They continue to score here, and Royal2 knows he cannot go across that catwalk or he'll be absolutely lit up.
I love the confidence by Swish right there. He pokes back out. Royal2 wins the engagement long range, so he backs off but comes back, and Frosty sees that angle, but you look in the kill feed and he just killed Frosty. That's going to be 2 dead for Sentinels, and Swish going to be pushing with his team on this elevator side. There's going to be an engagement right now, and G1 really close to taking this hill.
Very much uncontested by Sentinels. Try as they might huff and puff, they've been unable to blow this setup down. That's 2-1. G1 retake the lead.
PreDevoNatoR on the bottom of the elevator here. I really like this spot, but you've got to be careful of those plasmas behind, because they can get shot pretty easily. But when you're down here instead of catwalk, you've got so much cover to utilize. The only thing is, this hill doesn't really require someone on the bottom of elevator, so he's going to move out, pressure with his team, and the target is SnakeBite. I love the ability to play his life in this situation.
SnakeBite dips away. PreDevoNatoR has done the damage and made sure they won't make any further progress on that hill, but SnakeBite will tiptoe back in. Royal2 on double stack will get taken down to half shields for his troubles. This game is back and forth. It's tit for tat, and I'm absolutely loving it.
That 1 kill opens things up, but no! That's what I'm trying to say. Listen, they get the advantage, and then Royal2 crushes that advantage. 3 go down for G1.
Royal2, the Infinity Gauntlet in his hands, snapping his fingers and taking people's lives away. Frosty sitting up in the attic again as he connects with the shock rifle.
It's the game changers in this game. Frosty, Royal2, making plays that they shouldn't make, getting kills that they shouldn't get. That's what changes the trajectory of the game. G1 are up 2-1, but this next hill looks like it's going to Sentinels, unless they make massive mistakes.
G1 in the lead here. But for how long? Sentinels step back in again. Sword, though. That'll change the trajectory of that fight. That much is for damn sure. LethuL picks it up, player down to no shield. Desperately trying to stay alive, but will grapple straight back into a frag grenade. And Sentinels only need a sliver more of time. But can G1 make the hold here? Can they make the adjustments required to keep Sentinels at bay?
That was a rough play there by the Sentinels. Let's see if it ends up biting them in the butt. 1 tick is all Sentinels need, so 1 push, a couple trades, but they're 3 down. LethuL, the last player alive.
They have time. It's not much, granted, but they have a bit. Sentinels need to get this opening pick. LethuL's in trouble, though. It's gone against them. Not enough damage done to open the door for anybody else. Bubu Dubu will step away, and that will cause a little bit of an impasse then. But much like SnakeBite did, he tiptoes back in, making more progress. But now the slays have gone in Sentinel's favor, and here comes the collapse as Royal 2 picks up 2 in the feed and breaks this G1 set right open. It's 2-2. We're all tied up.
That's what makes Sentinels so good. One tiny little lane you give them, and they come soaring in. One little advantage, and they take full advantage of it. They only needed 1 tick. G1 looked really solid, potentially getting that hill, but it's not going to work out. Sentinels just too icy.
2 minutes on the clock then. Could we be looking at a situation here where the team to win this hill would win the game if they opt and choose to play Slayer? Nobody looking to step in just yet. You can see Sentinels have exactly the situation they need. All 4 members alive in elevator. They have prime spawns here, making sure they do not throw them away frivolously. But here comes the sword, and Swish gets 1, but that's all he's good for. It's a 2v2 on the map, and Squallaye tries to beat Frosty, but not many people do that successfully. And Sentinels hold the A spawns.
That is the best shot in the game in Squallaye. When you're in a situation where it's a 1v1 and Frosty needs to win it, he makes it happen. He wins it. 2-2 still the score of this hill. Not a lot of time being put on it due to the fact that they're trying to make sure these anchor spawns come out. But Bubu, with a big win with the help of Swish right there, they could potentially have control. But look at Sentinels on that pipe spawn.
How difficult to kill. SnakeBite made that. Dipsy doodling left and right, dancing, playing with Bubu Dubu. Not only getting a little bit extra time, but making sure Bubu Dubu had to fight tooth and nail just to clear him out. He finally does the job. And G1 have made progress, but again, Bubu Dubu down in numbers. All 4 dead for G1.
Bubu was in a prime spot right there to give the A spawns, but Royal 2 realizes it, comes through flying, wins the 1v1, and now Sentinels is in a prime position to close out this hill. A little above halfway through. These next slays are extremely important for G1 right now, but unfortunately they go 2 down.
What have G1 got to answer back? They clear out the player in the hill. Frosty plays a little bit more passive, puts it in reverse. Squallaye, though, uses the repulsor. Battle rifle comes out. Frosty still comes out on top. Grenades are going to come through. They will not connect. 2 members down for G1. They recognize this, and they move and flood back towards bottom elevator to try desperately to hold on to the spawns. But here comes the Sentinels push. Frosty, with absolutely no fear, soars in, gets 1. Bubu Dubu is in big trouble. Absolutely fried by the snowman.
They just don't expect it. Frosty grappling in the 2v1 like it's nothing. And Sentinels, because of that, will put in their 3rd hill. Absolutely disgusting. Frosty, 24-10. He's on a tear.
Somebody stop him. Anybody. 3-2 Sentinels. They take the lead in the game for the first time. And what a time to do it with only 50 seconds left on the clock. And I ask the question, with it now being bottom hill once more, will Sentinels opt to play Slayer?
Once again, I'm a little nervous to say, G1, history might repeat itself. They drop from 100% to 33% win rate when they give up 3 hills in King of the Hill. And let's look at the bottom center of the screen. Sentinels have 3 hills. Can G1 change the writing on the page? Make this a different story when much more is on the line than an open series? We're gonna find out.
The problem is with the writing on the page, the ink is starting to dry. G1 are running out of time. They have to go now. They have to influence this game, because it's passing them by now with 15 seconds. It has to be a perfect hole when all fresh 4 people stand up. But Squallaye hits the respawn screen at the hands of the General SnakeBite.
5 seconds. That's all they have. They have to jump in the hill. Mosh pit time. You see Bubu flying, but it's not going to be in time. And there you go. Sentinels are going to win the series 3-1 and send G1 to the elimination bracket.
And it's heartbreaking. G1, try as they might, they hung on in there. It looked good for them at times. In that King of the Hill, they took the lead twice. But Sentinels, they keep doing it. They keep icing up, and It doesn't matter if it's a game 5. They know when they need to turn up. They always seem to find that extra gear. They always seem to have more time than anybody else.
That's the thing. You said ice up. You said ice up, and you said extra gear. Perfect way to explain this. They iced up when they needed to. Frosty, that 2v1 was so huge. G1 were trying to get those A spawns, trying to anchor A. It's so close to that Needle Hill.
The 2v1 active. Which one? The man went 29.
Which one is right?
And 13. He was 2v1 all the live long day.
Pretty much all day. Frosty's been slaying today and all day yesterday as well. I don't know what happened to this man. I know he's one of the best players in the game, but there was a 3-way tie for me. I mean, what you know, Optic is kind of rolling through the brackets, but Frosty, man, woof, he's looking real solid.
I need to know what gaming chair Frosty has, because it is definitely adding at least 5 or 10% to that man's game. Absolutely frying clear of anybody else in the lobby by over 10. Incredible performance from Frosty, it must be said. And he's helped secure a 3-1 series victory for Sentinels as they punch their ticket into the winners finals. And are so close to tasting victory once more, defending their crown from Kansas City. And for G1, they will dip down, but I would not be surprised to see them again active.